What's up, assholes? It's your boy, SKR Studios, and today we're going over track 7s from 21 Pilots albums. Listen, I've done this before for tracks 1 through 6. It's an entire series on my channel. We're going all the way till the closers. We're just going to jump right into it because track 7 doesn't really have an exact purpose. It's kind of all over the place depending on what album you're on. It could slow it down, speed it up. It doesn't matter. I mean, at this point, the cohesion matters a little bit from the song that comes before it and comes after, but besides that, you're probably in the middle of the album or the second half of the album. From self-titled, we got Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy is a nice picking up point after March to the Sea's sort of slower, somber type of tone. And March to the Sea is telling a story, where Johnny Boy, it's telling a story kind of, but it's more upbeat. And the piano riff is definitely something that is very crisp and nice, especially for this first album. I love Johnny Boy a lot. It's not one that I go back to a lot from self-titled just because it can get old after a while, but I really do appreciate it as a song, even if it fades into the background for me personally. Glowing Eyes, personally, my favorite Regional at Best song. I think it's everything about Regional at Best done right. You still have the synths, you still have the cringy rap, you still have the overall Regional at Best vibe, and I like that. I like the gang vocals where Tyler's basically baiting you into wanting to hear the song live, because if you heard this in a large crowd of people, it'd be pretty awesome. The message is pretty much the same sort of thing on Regional at Best as all the other messages. It's a lot less pretentious than the other songs that are on Regional at Best, such as Kitchen Sink, which we'll get to next video. But Glowing Eyes overall, I like the sound of it. I like what Tyler's saying. I like how it fits into Regional at Best. While Regional at Best, I don't really count it as an album. Glowing Eyes kind of feels like a track 7. I mean, it feels like the middle point of an album. And who knows, this could be an early interpretation of some of the lore with the glowing eyes of when you get seized by a bishop or whoever, Clancy, whatever, So I really enjoy Glowing Eyes, and, as far as Regional at Best goes, it's actually good, which is pretty hard for Regional at Best to do. From Vessel, we have Screen. Screen is another one for me that I feel like is a song that has to be sang in a group of people. I mean, this is a song made for live shows. Tyler actually did say in the Vessel bonus commentary on Spotify that when he wrote the song, he wrote it to be a crowd interaction type of song. And of course, the Screen on My Chest thing has come up again in the Hype music video and in the Teletubbies. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, Screen is great. I really like the whole locomotive analogy and all that type of stuff. I think that it's another ukulele rap type song done really well. I think I prefer it over The Judge, but as far as ukulele songs go, it does kind of fade into the background. It's one of those middle Vessel songs where not a lot of people seem to talk about it, and it's not played at many shows. Recently, it was played at the smaller shows for an evening with 21 Pilots, those 5 shows that they did for Clancy, so I like that. But Screen overall, pretty good, just sort of a forgettable middle track of Vessel along with Semi-Automatic to Fake You Out. From Blurryface, we have the middle track on Blurryface because there's 14 tracks on here, and it's The Judge. The Judge is very good. I like it a lot. As far as ukulele songs go, again, it's another great one. Of course, yeah, the little Josh Dun yell in the background. It has a lot to offer in terms of rap, some screaming, some sort of psychedelic instrumental in the second half. I enjoy how the song all comes together. It doesn't really need to be 4 minutes long. I think it should be a song around the same length of Screen, but that's okay, We're not here to judge how long a song is and if that makes it good or bad. We're just here to say if the song is good in itself and if it's a good track 7. I think The Judge is a pretty good track 7. I always think of it as track 8 for some reason. I don't know why. It feels more like a track 8, but as far as album flow, The Judge does kind of perfectly go from the sort of faster paced sort of sounding rap of Lane Boy, and it slows it down to, it's more rap, but it's less poppy, it's less sort of cringe. It's good. I like it. I like The Judge, and I'm pretty sure it's Tyler talking to God, which is always pretty good, like in Fall Away and Backslide and all this shit. So, pretty good. Then we have my personal favorite track 7. I think it's done the best. You go from Smithereens, slowing down from the slow part of Chlorine, into Neon Gravestones. Neon Gravestones is the ballad of Trench, and this is the song that is the centerpiece of the album, the centerpiece of the lore. Without this song, it wouldn't make much sense. It is about real life topics in terms of the topic of suicide, which is not uttered once as a word. But it also relates to the lore in terms of vialism and the whole religion that the bishops subscribe to and Dima as a whole subscribes to. So I just think that Neon Gravestones, without it, it wouldn't make much sense. Trench needs Neon Gravestones, and it's perfectly placed right in the middle. It's the glue that holds the whole album together as a concept, and in terms of soundscapes, it's a very ambient, psychedelic, dark sounding song, sort of like the other ballads on Trench that we'll get to eventually. But Tyler can't just do piano anymore. He's got to have some sort of soundscape with it, and I enjoy this one a lot. It also has, I think, a sample of Moonlight Sonata, and also Fueled by Ramen did not want this song on the record. Tyler said this in an interview with Discord Click back from COVID times, I think, and he was talking about how Fueled by Ramen thought that this song was a career-ending move, and that if it was taken the wrong way, the band would be done, Tyler would be done, it would be over for them. And I'm so glad that it was kept, because without this, we probably wouldn't have the Dima storyline, or it would be a different variation of it. And the song in general, I mean, it is so good. It is one of those songs that really makes you think. It's a perfect 4 minutes, and it deserves more love. From Scaled and Icy, we have a perfect song that comes out of Never Take It, which is sort of mediocre, and this is Mulberry Street. It's sort of more in the vein of Good Day with the happy show tuney type of sound, and I really like the vocals here. The piano sounds something like sort of Elton John, Billy Joel inspired, sort of like Benny and the Jets, and I really, really enjoy Mulberry Street a lot. I think that maybe it should be a little bit higher on the album, because Never Take It, Formidable, and Bounce Man is sort of where the album gets a little stale. I do like Bounce Man a good bit, but Mulberry Street, I think, just as a song, it's perfect. It is perfect at what it's trying to do. When I look at the album cover art for Scaled and Icy, I either think of Shy Away with Shed Your Modesty because there's a dragon on it, or I think of Mulberry Street just because of the happy poppy colors. And even in the live stream, the two bishops, they said that this was their favorite song from the album, and I think that is a perfect kind of description of Mulberry Street being the title track. If there was a title track from Scaled and Icy, it would be Mulberry Street, and I just enjoy the happier, sort of carefree vibe of it, and it's a great song. Mulberry Street is slept on too much. And now we are at track 7, the exact middle track from Clancy, the Craving, Jenna's version. Jenna's version is so much better than the single version. The single version has awful distortion on Tyler's vocals. It doesn't fit what the song is trying to say. I think that the Craving single version, in my opinion, like, it's one of the worst 21 Pilots songs I've ever heard. I think the way it's produced is just pretty awful. But Jenna's version, you could tell this is the way the song was meant to be written. Tyler sounds great. His voice gets a little hoarse in the chorus, and that's okay because it does sound more genuine, and it has no effects on it at all, which I like. Doesn't exactly fit on the album, but as time has gone on, I've appreciated the Craving more. I've had it stuck in my head. I like singing it. I like listening to it. I think it's the most love songy that a love song from Tyler has ever been. Well, it's not my favorite Jenna song. I think it is in the top 3. I would say probably Smithereens. I don't know, this one, and then I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Tearing My Heart, and I'm definitely not a big fan of Formidable, but, you know, this one is just really good. It goes from Vignette, and, it's sort of a break in the album after the amazing 6 tracks just kind of explode you with joy and happiness and these, loud, awesome vibes. Then you get to the Craving and it's slower. And then after the Craving, you go into Lavish, which is just a complete fucking 180, which is kind of awesome. But, the Craving, I'm starting to like where it's placed on Clancy. I used to not, but I think it's great. It's a good song. I appreciate it a lot, and as time goes on, I think I'll like it more. Seeing it live especially made me really enjoy what the song was trying to say and go for more, because sometimes when you hear a song live or you hear it in a different setting, it kind of just hits a little harder. Then, of course, we're going to Spotify streams. Johnny Boy has 89 million streams, which is pretty good considering that it's in the middle of the album. I enjoy Johnny Boy a lot, and I'm glad that it gets sort of more recognition than I would say that it would otherwise, because self-titled, doesn't have a lot of high streamed songs, but I think that this is the 3rd most streamed from the album. Then you got Screen. Screen has 140 million streams. It is not the least streamed from Vessel, but it is in those bottom 4. I think that simply, people who are just casual listeners, they'll tune out at track 6 or 7, and they won't really come back to it. And a lot of people enjoy kind of the first 5 tracks and then Guns for Hands, Trees, and Truce more than anything else from Vessel. So I don't know, maybe that's why. It's also not played at many shows, so it doesn't have much traction. And then you got The Judge from Blurryface. Of course, it has 273 million streams. It's I think it's on the bottom half of Blurryface in terms of streams, but Blurryface has so many streams per each song in general that, you see 273 million. That is not an easy feat, and The Judge definitely deserves it, especially being almost a 5-minute song. It's the longest song on Blurryface, and I think that, honestly, the time to amount of stream ratio is pretty good. It's one of the better ones. Then from Trench, you got Neon Gravestones. Obviously, it's not streamed as much because it is a ballad, and I think it's in the bottom 5 or bottom 4 of the album, but it has 91 million streams. It'll cross 100 million someday soon, I'm sure. Maybe from me alone, but I love Neon Gravestones. It's a perfect 4-minute song, and it's pretty well streamed for an album that came out 6 years ago. But then you get to Mulberry Street, and Mulberry Street has 66 million streams. This is one of the higher ones that wasn't a single from Scaled and Icy. Of course, you have Saturday, Shy Away, and Choker. They're, the top 3. Not in that order, but you have The Outside too, which is pretty well streamed. And after The Outside, you got Mulberry Street. So I think that Mulberry Street probably would have been a better single than Saturday, but Saturday being more radio friendly and pop definitely made it the better choice than Mulberry Street to be a promotional single. And then you have the most recent one, The Craving. It is the least streamed from Clancy so far, which is a little sad, but it makes sense. The single version has kind of been popping off. So Jenna's version has 15 million streams, and then I think the single version has about 21 million streams. So that's not bad. I mean, in terms of the middle track of an album after all these sort of faster non-ballad songs, a ballad song having 10 million less streams than the average Clancy song, it's not horrible. So that's pretty good. I feel like all the streams for these track 7s are a lot better than the streams for the track. But now we're going to go on to your opinions and what you voted in the community tab of my channel. So I didn't include Johnny Boy or Glowing Eyes in the poll just because casual fans don't really know those songs or listen to them too much. But by a wide margin, Neon Gravestones won. It got 53% of the votes, which I agree with. Then in second place, The Judge with 18%, Mulberry Street with 14%, Screen with 10%, and The Craving with 5%. So I don't think that is too far off of what the general consensus would be, and I think that Neon Gravestones is pretty much regarded as the best track 7, if not The Judge. So those two being the top 2 makes a lot of sense. Thank you guys for always being here, watching my videos. It really does mean a lot. I try to put a lot of effort into these, and posting every Thursday has been a huge joy. Thank you for, watching my last 2 videos, since they weren't really track reviews. The one was just me talking about the Clancy World Tour that I went to, and then the other one was the 6-year celebration of Trench. So I really appreciate you guys for being here. I want to shout out a few people that have just been commenting on every video and really just are dedicated to my channel. I really appreciate you guys. Mr. Entertainment, Too Tuned, Tuvula, Just Kibby, Max Unis Honest, Meow Meow 501, Anna Maria Luberto, Zombiecraft 4406, A Poet Y6C, Egg Animations, Rena McKay, M, Macy Jojewski, Buddy Boy 4537, Paul Guy, I don't know how to pronounce your name, your profile picture has a P, and the rest of you. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name. I truly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. You guys are the best, and I just wanted to shout you out. It means a lot.